Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm not doing too bad. I slept pretty good the last few days and been eating a little better. I didn't exercise today yet. I might, but I don't know. I might need a rest too, but it seems like even if I do it every few days, but I've been doing it like every day or every other, but I'm not really worried about it anymore now that I'm in the swing of things and I'm feeling better, as long as I keep consistent, like even busy or whatever, uh, burning calories, as long as I don't consume more calories than I burn and I keep active, I'm okay. And that's kind of like what I was thinking about with people like about in their 50s or so, like when you're young and you're in your 20s and 30s and you're strong and maybe you worked out or maybe you didn't, or I know some of you are like into martial arts or whatever, um just or yoga or whatever. The limberness of it all will help with your muscles. So if you're like active, even at work, and you're still going to work and you're a half a century old, you're probably getting kind of tired about now. I went through that where I really couldn't exercise. I wanted to, but my body just was like about ready to stop. It said, hey, we've had enough of you, you know, and that was even while I was eating good and keeping really busy, and being really busy was part of what made me sick, I think, too, as far as not just my allergies, but actually entering the middle of my life. I had to learn how to pace myself. And that's kind of some of my concerns too with people that are still working, and you are either half dead or half alive, either way you want to look at it, or right in between. How society views everybody all the same within all those jobs, or maybe experience in certain areas, and what people do for a living, maybe that should be merited within that, just out of human compassion for people, be like, well, if there's a little old man and he's a cook, why should he make just as much as me? Well, maybe he's a really good cook, or maybe the restaurant wouldn't be the restaurant it is just with him not there. I mean, or actually just going back to that part of human compassion and seniority. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud because I know that a lot of you are still in the workforce, and it hurts. And you're wondering, what kind of hell are we in? Why would God make such a hell? You know, but to remember that this isn't God's hell, this is Satan's money system. And the more people work together to rid the world of the narcissistic nature that is going on too widespread. I mean, it's people in general, even they're ignoring somebody else, can be extremely rude on this planet. I do miss the days where well, and I've had it happen, but it's so sweet. Like if I go into town and there's a youngster, um run up and hold the door. I mean, literally run to get to the door before I get there so they can open the door for me, you know? Or if you see somebody with packages, like even if she's a younger lady or a lady with a baby, or, how we view other people and how we act out in this society is a really big deal. You know, I don't know. But then on the other hand, I've gone to help people and they give me dirty looks, and it's like, wow, okay, that was unexpected, But I'm watching, well, right now I'm watching Robin's Hood, cracking the number and code 2022 and 23 on the NFL playoffs. Um, and then there's more. It's a long title, but anyway, listening to him. In between, I'm listening to, or I should say, after I'll go back to listening to Huberman Lab, Huberman, Nutrients for Brain Health and Performance. It's not really anything new to me, but it keeps my mind occupied. I was rolling cigarettes and listening to that, so it's, yeah, keep me busy. you know. Some people try to clear their mind and silence their mind, and yeah, sometimes it can get a bit radical up in there, huh? But, through meditation and that, I don't know. I don't really worry about that like that, because if I want to quiet my mind, I can find that peace within myself really easy. Um, Whether or not it gets interrupted by somebody, now that's another thing. But as far as having to really reach to try and meditate, like I hear people saying, um, I used to try to do that when I was like maybe about 15 or so. And I first heard about meditation and the benefits of it and whatever, and practiced it, through breathing techniques or whatever, different relaxation techniques, or light or no light, or focusing on a item, or that, all the techniques. And now I just find that if I do uh, keep even minded with God in my heart, I don't have to practice anything. Just, he's got the reins and I'll be okay type of thing. So I don't know. And like usual, right? Well, today I don't really know what my topic is. I'm just sort of sharing my time with you and saying hello to people. I want to tell the people that are working hard, informing me and helping me stay grounded and helping me have that patience. Thank you. I'm a very, very patient person, but under great duress and stress, um, sometimes it slips and I don't want it to. So the people that are entertaining me, thank you so much. I mean, the information and the knowledge, even, like listening about nutrients, and um, it's wonderful. It's like Sean Baker this morning put out, MD, the benefits of fat as a nutrient, and talking, about, of course, we can find fats through like seeds and nuts and that type of thing, and eggs. And then I'll go back to like the Huberman lab. They had taken fertilized eggs, because the egg has to be fertilized from the rooster before it can before the egg can become a chick. So they made these windows inside these eggs like a window where they could look in with their magnifying glass or their microscope, whatever. I think he said magnifying glass, or even just with your naked eye. And you could literally watch that chick absorb the egg yolk as the protein from the whites turned into a chick. So it was like eating the yolk to build that body within that egg. That would be cool to see, although I have seen chicks like under lights, warming lights, I forget, incubation um, boxes, and you can literally see their little skeletals in there. And yeah, it's incredible. It really is, you know. So, but how eggs are good for us for that reason, for our brains, for building brain memory and functioning throughout the day. And there's, like the omega 3s, and there's another, um, and I just forgot it. I had eggs last night. So I should be remembering what I just watched, but I don't know. I started thinking chickens. I love chickens as far as um, animals. People don't understand how smart and loving birds really are. They are incredible. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to fly and run on the ground? What better way? I mean, I don't know that I would want to. I'm kind of pleased being a woman that has 2 feet on the ground and knows she's a woman. you know, I'm kind of I don't want to be a bird, I guess, but I really admire birds. They're so beautiful. Ducks are like my favorite because they can swim too. They can swim and walk and fly. They've got the trifecta on this planet. Like they can do it all, you know. So then this morning I watched Lionel Nation. That was a good one. And I mean, I couldn't go over exactly everything he talked about either, but it was, I can probably pull up the title of it for you. Um, it was interesting, big time, like usual. Very informative. Rewriting fundamentals. That isn't actually what it was, though. Let me see. I'm going to go to it for a minute. Now I'm curious. Politics as quantum mechanics. How's that for a title? Yeah, it was pretty good. So if you're not familiar with Lionel Nation, he's politically on top of everything. Um, in fact, I would trust his judgment. Well, now there's something that is on my mind. Um, as far as I would trust his judgment as far as something making a statement politically. Um, he's kept on top of things for decades, a really long time. So, yeah, he's got in that area maybe better judgment than a lot of people. But I'll tell you what is really on my mind. For probably 25 going on 30 years, the country of Syria has fought against ISIS. Now, ISIS is our known enemy, and theirs, obviously. So I want everybody to kind of think about this because this is important. We've sanctioned Syria. We've made it so the Syrian people can't have planes with cargo to be flown into their country so they can survive right now and for a very long time. the surrounding countries around Syria had made it almost impossible for these people to function. And my question is, why would NATO and other countries that are involved in that want to be going against somebody that would want to take our supposed enemies out? So if we have the same enemy, why are we going against that country? Well, I'll tell you why, and I've been saying it for a very long time, because they're the people with the knowledge of the world history. That's why. It's true. What I'm telling you is absolutely true. I mean, the language, the they've probably got teachings right in their parliament that talk about the return of Christ and what the Holy Grail is and all of these things that they actually really do know. I watched about, oh, now it's about 10 years ago. I watched, I think it was Dan Rather, uh, um, politically minded journalist or reporter, I guess I would call him more of a reporter. I think it was him. The president of Syria was talking to him, and he was accused of poisoning his own people by chemical warfare from the air. A lot of people said that wasn't true. And I side on the. Now, this man is eloquent. I didn't detect any hate, especially for his own people, in his speech or any of his mannerisms. Anytime, like you get like a cocky Joe up there. I mean, being flippant and smart assy and cold and rude. And I mean, who wants that for a political leader? That's a freaking embarrassment. What I'm telling you is our country is going against Syria unjustly. And these people are being harmed by our military constantly. It hasn't ended for 25 years. It's a constant barrage, you know. And then you have people in Israel whining about how bad they've got it. Those are not the people that have got it bad. The people that are going without anything that they need right now, those are the ones that have it bad. And that to me is, it just doesn't make sense. Why aren't we allies with somebody? But yet, China can fly a balloon all the way across our country. And I think they did it the other day, too. And now they want their balloon back. Well, come and get it. Yeah. Walk here and do that. You know, if you don't want us to have your balloons, keep them out of our airspace. That's what I would suggest. you know, cheers, everybody. So yeah, I'm really concerned about the Syrian people right now, and I truly admire their president as a person for his people, and his people love him. That should tell you everything, you know. If you ask like the Chinese people if they love the people that bought their positions, I mean, for generations, the highest um, the people with the most money in that country are able to buy, I think it's 600 or 700 positions in their government. They buy that position, and communism rules over that country because of that. And you could ask the people of that country if they love their rulers. I would say most of them would say no, because most of them in their hearts aren't communist, you know. And it's the same with Syria. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Even if somebody were to think that the president of Syria was, and I think his name is Ahmad, if I'm not wrong, but if they think that this man is an evil person, still, what about the people in that country? Don't we care about everybody? Don't we? I mean, I care if somebody in China, I don't care if they're communists, they're leaders in their country. What about the people? I care. I care about the people in Russia. They're our brothers and sisters. We all are, you know, so why are we allowing these rulers? Oh, gross. That just having to say that repulses me. Oh, did oh, I mean, did you see Jill Biden kiss Kamala Harris's husband on the lips? These freaking cousins are starting to make me want to barf. That's disgusting. Not even on the cheek, just planted one right on him. It's like, okay. Well, that's gross. I mean, it's not even like if it was somebody that was like 40 or 50, you'd be like a little kid to me. I'd like maybe pinch your little cheeky, you know? It's like, but smooching him right on his lips is like, holy shit. That's just, that's repulsive. That's this touchy feely shouldn't be happening. If you want to do that behind closed doors, like I know you do, go do that behind closed doors. We don't want to see it. That's so unprofessional. I mean, it takes shaking hands, and she didn't even have a mask on. You know, that takes shaking hands to a whole new level. Now, what would they do if the cameras weren't on them? Yikes, right? That just came into my mind seeing her do that. Oh, whoa. I guess Joe's getting too old to give a shit, right? Wow. But then again, you do know that she was a babysitter that broke up his first marriage and his wife killed herself. Yeah, that's our first lady. Yes, the babysitter that broke up a marriage. That's who she is. You know, a lot of people don't really, oh, yeah, it's in the past. It's just like a narcissist. They'll say, can't we start from the beginning? No, we can't. We're going to leave off, we're going to take off right where we left off. And anything that you need to work on is entailed in that. And then we'll see how you do at your next evaluation. You know, this was their evaluation. And that's a big fail. Sitting there lying to the people that our economy is better than it's ever been. What? Hello? Is anybody in there? Really? Wow. Or spouting that the price of gas has come down from its all time high. Oh, I'm sure that makes everybody feel wonderful. Yes. So they'll raise the price of eggs. Who cares, right? Yeah. They'll get you one way or another. And got to pay for them bombs. And then, oh, did you hear? In Congress, which they had quit doing, but the Republicans stood up and said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's so beautiful. It really is. And it pissed them Democrats and them far lefties. And I told Doug, why don't they just hail Satan? That's their God. They do praise the creation instead of God. So, and he hates them. Satan hates them. They're just exposing themselves so he can take them out because he thinks he's perfect. Well, so do they, but I mean, so he gets them to show who they are so he can wipe them out. That's his game. I mean, he wants to trip anybody up. Don't get me wrong, he hates everybody. But yeah, anyway, they really don't think he hates them. He's all about lying, deceiving, and murdering. And they think somehow they're exempt for doing his bidding. Oh, that's so funny. Wow. That does remind me of one time I was babysitting and they came home and I had babysat all these kids of two different couples, one from my friend and then her friend had some children and they didn't want to pay me. The other ones didn't want to pay me for watching their kid. They're a bunch of bikers, and I was not going to leave that house until I got my money. And this one guy they called Madman, Jerry was his name, um, but he looked like a madman. He's like a strawberry blonde hair with red eyes. I mean, they were blue, but they looked red when he was mad, you know. He didn't want to do it. And I said, well, I told him I was going to beat his wife up. I was 15, you know, but I did say, I'm going to kick her ass. Either give me my money or I'm going to beat her up, you know. And I know he felt like beating me up, but he didn't dare because I had some pretty powerful friends. So, oh, he was pissed they had to chalk up that money. It was good for me. Actually, and then my friend tried to pay me for them and I wouldn't take it. You know, it's like, no, she's going to pay me. These are her kids, you know. So, anyway, all the good times. I was kind of a terrorist in that respect because what I grew up around wasn't even, I mean, when I went out in the world, it was mild compared to a lot of things. You know, it's like, oh, you think you're going to do something to me? Yeah, well, you can't. So, the worst things that really ever happened to me, most of the time I put myself in that position. Um, Sometimes, yeah, Satan would get in there and try and hurt me and stop me and all the shenanigans, but somehow God would always use it for good. Like if I was injured and I couldn't move, well, then that forced me to take more time to maybe study something or even more studying of my own psyche, you know? So, working on that. I'm constantly working on myself. I don't know if some of you have noticed that I really have calmed down a little bit, even within turmoil. I mean, the turmoil really hasn't changed, but I have how I operate within it. You know, whether it bothers me or not. You know, so and that does make a great big difference. You know, I just like they say, consider the source. You know, who's bugging you, and why would it? You know, And then you have to remember who these people are and why they're doing it, you know? So they're like big babies, these narcissists, when they don't get their way. Oh, the tantrums are just beautiful. And if they can't have a temper tantrum, they'll keep bugging you until you snap. And then they can kind of like point the finger, like, see, look at you now, you know. I'll smoke a cigarette with you until this maybe times out, or maybe not. I'm at 30 minutes right now, so